Hi guys, let's play a bit with our Black Lantern Batman. I had a few disconnects earlier today, so if I disconnect, sorry about that. I guess the game is not quite that stable since crossplay. So just a refresher, essentially our Black Lantern Batman, what I'm hoping to do with this character is pretty much to uh, be able to purchase not the entire Black Lantern gear, but most of it so that I can have a better looking Black Lantern character, I suppose. And also, I'm trying to go back and redo some of the missions that uh, I didn't get the chance to do as I was busy going up in CR with my character. So, and I did go in a bit of a skill point frenzy. I purchased a few skill points. Essentially, I purchased there's feats that I swore after doing them once that I would never ever do them again. So I purchased quite a few of those. Essentially, an example of those feats would be the killing 5,000 Reapers in Central City. I don't ever want to do that again. Sadly, I'm sure that I'll have to do it again at some point, but if I can avoid it as much as possible, I will. The same goes with the Toyman missions. Essentially, once I reached, I think it's 100 Toyman missions, I don't want to do those again. Another example would probably be the Central City bounties. Essentially, I'm working my way up to the 500, killing 500 Central City bounty missions. So hopefully, once I reach 500, I hope there's not another one at 1,000. We'll see. So ideally, I'm hoping to max out on some of the feats and never do them again. So usually, what I'll do is I'll end up buying them on additional character. The reason why I wanted to purchase a few skill points also with our Black Lantern Batman was so that I could have all the weapon mastery combos. It's pretty much that simple. So essentially, for the DPS, I had the dual pistol masteries like the love shot mastery and sweep shot mastery, and now I was able to purchase the uppercut mastery and the meteor blast mastery as well. So, and for the healer role, I was able to purchase essentially the brawling masteries that goes with the hand blasters. So so I was able to purchase those, which I hadn't before. It wasn't a big issue before. Essentially, I was mostly using explosive shot mastery. That's pretty much the one I use most of the time. Although arrow fling once in a while can be useful, but usually I would just use explosive shot mastery. And if I really needed to, I would. If I had to fight in melee, I would do it, even though I didn't have the haymaker mastery yet. So it wasn't such a big deal, I guess. So let's see. So we have one extra skill point that I didn't use yet. So let's try and spend it. Uh, I guess I could try and get the extra mile and precision on my character, but I think what I will do instead is that I will slowly work my way towards the other weapons. Well, let's get started with the two-hander. It's just the way I do it. Usually, I'll start by the bottom and I'll work my way up. It makes it easier to keep track of where I'm at since I have a lot of characters, and it can get quickly confusing. So essentially, I have a system that helps me keep more or less that helps me keep track of what I'm doing with most of my characters. So again, that's pretty much what I'll do with this little fella here. Again, I could probably purchase. Oh, let's see. Maybe I could actually. I guess I could purchase some extra precision. Let's do that. So essentially, I was at the point where I was working my way up. Like I was trying to go through all the tier one stuff. So I did all the tier one player, the single player tier one, the duo tier one. I was starting to work through the four player missions tier one. So let's see. So I still had the Blood Haven that I didn't do yet. Uh, Hive Moon Base will be a tier 2 mission, so I'll wait for that. We did Gorilla Island, Oolong Island. I'm pretty sure yeah, there's a tier 2 Oolong Island, so I'll wait for that. Yesterday I did Area 51 and Ace Chemical, so I'll cure for Bloodhaven and Smallville, and for the Hall of Doom I'll use the portal to gain access to it. So ideally, if I can, I will try and go into those missions solo. But there's exceptions to that, like missions like Smallville. You have no choice. You need a group to gain access to the mission. There's no escaping it. Missions like Kondak, there is a portal to go into Kondak. Sadly, at some point you have like three cogs that you need to activate at the same time, and by yourself, there's no way you can do that. So ideally, if I can avoid going into a mission with low-level players, I will do that. Not because I don't want to play with low-level players. Personally, I don't mind. But I've seen on the forums a lot of complaint about people who complain that high-level players come into the mission and ruin the game for them. So I'm just trying to avoid that. So essentially, while I wait for Smallville or what's the other one I cared for? The Bloodhaven. While I wait for those, I will try and see if I can do the armory first. So with a little luck, I'll finish the armory and then I'll do Bloodhaven and Smallville. But worst comes to worst, if I reach a mission like halfway through and then Smallville pops, I'll go do Smallville. It'll it'll probably be hard enough to find a group to do Smallville or Bloodhaven that I'll when I if I get the opportunity, I'll do those. And I'll probably do a Celestial Healing video at some point. I essentially did one, but I kind of messed up. I didn't have the sound on anyway. Essentially, uh, it's not that big a deal in the sense that yeah, I can still see the video and follow what I did and which power I used. But for newer players, it would probably be easier, simpler if it would probably help a bit more if they had me also explaining what exactly it is that I'm doing. For an experienced player will be able to just look at the video and understand what's going on. Maybe a newer player will struggle with that. And since I'm kind of doing those videos, hopefully for newer players, did I forget a console? Oh, yeah. Oh no, that's Dr. Savannah. Could have sworn I did talk to him. And the nice thing when you come in by yourself is that you don't have to worry about the people rushing you or anything. You can just take the time you need to explore, look around, do all the cool stuff you want to do. So for the tier 1 mission, it'll be pretty simple. Essentially, I'm way over geared for those missions. I could probably have done those pretty much as soon as I was like by the end of tier 2 or tier 3. Probably tier 3 actually. Would have been more challenging though, but doesn't matter. In the 4 years I've been playing, I've seen plenty of challenging missions, sadly. So I've seen plenty of not just challenging mission, but what you could call fail missions. Essentially, missions that went so badly that essentially the whole group left the mission halfway through or before even completing it. Oh, let's pick up our old friend here. I don't think I'm gonna be able to. There's a player who's been famous for doing group missions solo for some time, who's called Death Mike. It even became also a verb in this universe or on the forums. Like essentially, if you Death Mike a mission, you're playing a group mission solo by yourself. Which, depending on your combat rating, can be impressive or not. Although some missions, even at high combat rating, they still can be pretty challenging. Especially missions where you get imprisoned or juggled a lot. Like sometimes there's some missions. I think there's one in the Batcave. Although now you can actually kill the robot before he imprisons you. But at some point there was this robot essentially that was stunning you, and you could not kill you, but you could not kill it either because you couldn't do anything. You were pretty much perma-stunned most of the time, if not all of the time. We'll use my weapon a bit more because I'm pretty much burning through my power. Essentially, when you see me attack empty air, it's just that I'm prepping my weapon mastery combo, essentially. Oh, where's our little friend gone to? Oh, there he is. And I don't know if you've noticed, even though I was pretty much higher level than the NPC, I still could not. My stuns or my crowd control still had no effect. So there's many bosses that sadly you can't. There's just nothing you can do. You can't control them. Oh, well, I guess we're going to leave and go into Smallville. Will I be able to gather this little investigation first? I suppose I did. Let's wait a bit. A player has declined the instance. Oh, why am I not surprised? So I guess we can continue. So let's talk to our friend Savannah some more. It's been a while since I've done this mission. I know there's some get attacked by some turrets and there's some control panel you can activate. I'm not sure if we can actually damage the turrets. Let's see if I can manage to deactivate them. So as you can see, even at a higher level, you get thrown around like a rag doll anyway. So let's see if I can hide a bit. Oh, again. Oh, this time it's Bloodhaven. Oh, we can destroy them now. Oh, that's nice. And once more, a player has declined the instance. The sad thing, oh, there we go. So let's talk to our little friend here. Let's switch to a healer so that we can heal our friends. I guess no one wants to go and pick up this thingy, so I guess I'll have to go. So you can see that the other healer left. Could be because he didn't like having a high level healer in the mission. We'll never know, I guess, unless they put down. There's various briefings and investigations. I'll probably look them up towards the end, or maybe some other time. We'll play it by ear. Ideally, our friends should be the one bringing the boxes or the supplies, so that I can ideally try and keep them alive. But I'm pretty much out of power, and I can't see. There we go. One trick that you learn as you heal or even control or play as a controller, that you want to stay as high as possible as you can in certain missions, so that nothing will block your line of sight with the other players. Essentially, if players are outside of your line of sight, you're not going to be able to heal them. Like if they're behind a wall or even behind a boulder or something, you're not going to heal them. So if you remain more or less in the air, then odds are there's nothing that's going to be blocking the line of sight between you and them. Although in certain missions, when you stay in the air, the enemies will pretty much target you a lot. So it's a case by case scenario. In certain missions, you want to stay in the air. In other missions, you pretty much want to stay grounded, even if it risks that maybe some players will be hiding behind a wall. And there's some missions where you have no choice. In certain missions, you're grounded whether you like it or not. And I guess our friend really needs a little help. And ideally, so we have a new healer that came in. So ideally with that friend, it shouldn't be a problem keeping our two friends alive. Which is sometimes the challenge in a lower level mission, even if you're a high level healer. If people don't stay right next to you, there's nothing you can do. Like if oh, if your friends are at the other end of the map, you cannot heal them. I had that problem was it yesterday with Gorilla Island. or essentially the guys were spread all over the place, and I had a hard time trying to keep them alive because very often they were either out of sight or behind a wall or something. So it was a bit challenging to try to heal them. So I think I will bring a crate or two to speed up the process a bit. Let's hope no one dies while I'm gone. Already doesn't look good. And I can't seem to be able to heal our friend Pyro. Either he's too far or behind an obstacle. I guess Futsal San, full 10 ace 10, whatever, was too far. As you saw, I did cast my heal over time, but it didn't seem to work for him. So he's probably the one at the other hand by himself. Let's go try. That seems to be. There we go. So we're almost done. I don't know if you've noticed when you defeat one of the big chemo, it splits into two smaller ones, which is kind of neat. So ideally you want to have the high ground, not to quote Anakin, but when you're healing you want to have the high ground to make sure that you can heal everyone, or as many people as you can. And if you're flying, it's really easy to have the high ground. If you're not, then you need to try to find a boulder or sometimes a piece of rubble or what's left of a building or a building period. And somehow young Pyro died. I have no idea where he is. Like, I don't know if you see people are spread all over the place. I have no idea what they don't. But it seems so hard for people to try and stick together. Like, if you see that your partners are already there, don't go at the other end of the map. Go where your partners are. You would think that it's not rocket surgery, but a lot of people don't seems to care or even want to follow their friends. So ideally, as a healer, you want to keep your heal over time going as much as possible, so that you can heal your friends. I know that some people are worried about overhealing and wasting power, essentially. But if the power over time is going, in this case, we have no power over time, so sad. But nothing we can do about that. We don't have a controller. But normally, if you have a controller in the group, the power over time of the controller keeps on going. So if you're not healing, you're essentially wasting the power over time. Like if your bar is full and you're not casting your heal, whatever power you get from the power over time is pretty much wasted because you're just not using it. And usually the power over time should be enough to at least be able to use your heal over time uh, to keep your heal over time going. Unless you're burning through power for reasons, then okay, try to manage your power or a bit more. But normally you should be able to keep your heal over time going, no problem. But I see a lot of healer instead of using power to try to keep the group alive, they'll burn through power to try to DPS. So let's see what we got. Oh, let's get some pants that we didn't have the style for. And the same for with the weapon. And the pistols, but for the pistols we're gonna have to respec our skill points a bit in order to be able to equip them. So let's go see. So between me and Raygon, it shouldn't be an issue to keep the Hazmat team alive. The biggest problem is our friend Pyro keeps on rushing ahead instead of waiting for the healers to keep up. The reason not to rush ahead is that you have to wait for the Hazmat team. We probably could do the mission without the Hazmat team, but that's essentially the goal of the mission. Sorry about that, the broadcast did crash, sadly. So let's give a little victory thumbs up to our friends. Well, let's break a few healing barrels because, well, why not? I'm not sure why lately, at least for a while, and not just because of crossplay, even before crossplay it would do that. Uh, People don't seem to give much thumbs up or salute or any things like that to say, hey, good job, guys, or people seems to be getting a little more rude than usual, and they were many were pretty rude to begin with. So we got the Savannah, Dr. Savannah glasses, which should give us a bit of money on the broker if we're lucky. Or we can give it to another character. I'm not sure if I have a character that could benefit from having glasses. Well, we'll have to see. I probably could look around for the briefings and collections and investigations, but I'll do that some other time, not today. I'll do the vault later. So let's see if we can cure for Smallville. We'll wait a minute or two. And again, if somehow we don't end up into Smallville, we'll just do the Hall of the Armory. So I guess now's the time to repair, sell, and all that good stuff. I'm pretty sure I have better mods than that. Ideally, Essentially, I would need at least one skill point per weapon. So if I could get maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I could get maybe 8 more skill point, I would be able to essentially have 1 point, one skill point in each weapon, so I wouldn't have uh, to pull a fast one whenever I want. I get a weapon that I don't have the style to. I would just be able to equip, unequip, and that would be it. So I guess should maybe consider purchasing a few more skill points. We'll see. So I don't know if you remember yesterday I bought I sold I did put off for sale a bunch of stuff. They pretty much all sold through. So you consider someone asking for about 700,000 for the Dr. Sivana glasses. Oh, let's ask. It's a fairly rare item, so let's try 400,000. The reason why I go for 400,000, it's a rare item. I'm pretty sure at least some people would want to have that item. And also, if the guy who's already selling it decides that he wants to purchase mine, he could decide to purchase mine and try and sell it for a profit. So he could purchase mine and sell it for 700,000 also, as opposed to if I ask for 600,098 dollars. Yeah, possibly someone could purchase it, but maybe not. And here at least I give some incentive to the other guy to possibly purchase mine and put it up for sale at his price. So we'll see. I guess if I was worried about getting as much money as possible, I would have put it up for like 298, $698,000. But not really worried about that. I'm not sure why I did not collect. Where is it? Oh, there it is. The wristbands are a fairly old collection, and it's not that difficult to get from the Hall of Doom. So let's put it up for 4,000. Again, at that price, odds are someone else could decide to buy it and try and sell it for 12,000. So that's a win-win, I guess. What chair is that? Let's keep that for someone else. Let's keep that. I guess we could try 30,000. It's a bit expensive for the Battle Eastern thingy, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get it back by mail because it didn't sell. We'll see. So let's put this here. Let's take a quick look at the banners to see if there's something worth buying while we're here. And maybe the Black Lantern, about 3 millions. I don't have 3 millions. Blue Lantern, a bit too expensive too. Indigo, I already have a couple of those. Let's see what we got from Apocalypse. Home of Darkside. Nothing really. I already have a bunch of those. If they were fairly cheap, I would probably purchase, like I would probably purchase another monitor and probably another terminal. But at 3 million, 4 million, 5 million, I'll wait a bit, I guess. Hopefully they'll get some more for a cheaper price, or I'll wait until I actually can burn 3 million for no good reason. So I guess we're not going to go into Smallville yet, so let's go back into the armory and try that again.
I see Dr. Savannah let you in here. Since when is he in charge? Luckily, I intercepted you.
And sadly, we pretty much have to start again from the start,
Lethal, magical, and biological
which is
attack
not a big
components.
deal.
Something's activated them, which could be very bad. Get ready. Once the magical shield up ahead goes down, the floodgates are opening.
No reason to stay in healer role. Let's switch to DPS. And let's talk to our friend Savannah again. I probably should give him his glasses since we just found them, but nah, let's sell them at a broker. Because we're evil. Oh no, it's a trap.
Will Savannah get his hologram butt out of here? Anyway,
Oh,
I've
there
been
it
trying to
is.
get a reading while all hell broke loose, but something's blocking my sensors. The only things good enough to do that are Oracle and Brainiac. Oracle releasing our weapons is probably a long shot. Right. This is definitely Brainiac.
Statues, rise and serve Brainiac. For Brainiac.
Oh, we got mail. So I guess we sold a few items already. As you can see, no crowd control seems to work on the boss. That happens. It could be because, oh, well, I guess we're going to go into Smallville. I guess the game doesn't want us to go any further than this. I'm sure the game is evil on purpose. So let's wait a bit. I won't be surprised if someone declines the instance.
Now that you've arrived in glorious downtown Smallville,
So let's say hello to our little friends.
this is not just a recon mission. Next meet
And
all his test subjects.
let's switch to DPS so that to healer so that we can try and keep them alive.
Arrived more than 5 minutes. Watch me from
Although I wouldn't be surprised if some would prefer if I switch to DPS to burn through everything as quickly as possible. Lots of people want to go through missions very quickly.
Don't forget to initialize expert remote analysis units as you go. They respond to danger approximately 15 to a beat. Try to get to the unit without frying it. It's the only way we can monitor your progress.
Our Doomsday Wrangler arrives. Sorry for the subterfuge, but I knew you were one of the few who could survive and secure Doomsday. It's all in the name of advancing humanity. I'm sure you don't mind.
So as you saw, our friends, at least one of our friends wanted us to stay DPS.
simple task. You can even use the brainiac weaponry LexCorp was using against them before you came along.
All units. Doomsday's morpho reactive capabilities are maintained even after a
Hi guys, sorry if the recording crashed again. Essentially, it crashed while I was doing the Smallville mission.
Excellent! Brainiac invaded, did he? If his brain were so big, he'd know my research is far more dangerous than
And
anything.
sadly, we had certain players, and one player especially in Smallville who didn't grasp the idea that
All matters.
when you're combat training 140, you're going to do a lot of damage, even if you're a healer, and he kept on insisting that I switch to DPS. And he couldn't grasp the concept that even if I was a healer, I could not heal him at the other end of the map, which is sad, but it happens. Let's go sell and repair, and we'll do the armory next.
I've got quotas to meet. Buy from me, will ya?
Essentially, I'm just checking if certain items can be traded. I used this already. Okay, so let's do the armory, and this time there will be no reason to leave halfway through the mission, so we should be able to complete it. So just a friendly tip for most players, if you want the healer to be able to heal you, it helps to be fairly close to the healer. If you're at the other end of the map, there's nothing the healer can do. So if you rush ahead, the healer cannot help you.
Activated them, which could be very bad. Get ready. Once the magical shield up ahead goes down, the floodgates are opening.
I'm releasing the barrier. This mess is all yours.
Doesn't matter how good the healer is, you just cannot heal that far.
Attention, evildoer! I can see your every move from these hologram pods. This is the
So as you can see, even when you're combat rating 140, combat rating 40 can juggle you, knock you out, stun you, and all that good stuff.
Savannah, get his hologram butt out of here.
I guess it would make sense if you get like a bonus to resistance to your resistance as you go up in level, so that at some point
The only thing's good enough.
a level 40 can no longer stun you. But then again, that's probably the point. I guess they don't want it to make it so that at some point you're pretty much invulnerable.
Right. This is definitely Brainiac.
Statues, rise and serve Brainiac. For Brainiac.
Sorry, just a second. I'm being distracted a bit. So I'm not sure why the recording keep on crashing. Although the lag has been there's been quite a bit of lag earlier yesterday, and I did crash quite a few times yesterday morning as I was trying to play. So probably, I assume it's probably the changes made by crossplay or something. Maybe there's more people and their servers can comfortably handle, or maybe there's some other issues. Or it could be that maybe for some reason today my internet isn't working so good, although it's only not working so good for DC Universe, so odds are it's probably something to do with DC Universe. So let's try and go straight to the console and try to turn it off. I'll probably have to defeat a few of the Brainiac robots first, because they're probably going to try and interrupt me. So let's see what we can do about that. Oh.
Brainiac's energy signature gets bigger and bigger the further you go in. Also, you're entering weapons storage. That's where Toyman keeps his toys.
So let's try and hide behind the console so that the turrets can probably not target me. Well, it did seem to work. I probably don't need to do that, but I don't like those turrets, so let's make them into scrap metal because we can, and we will. I wasn't able to get the power suit. It doesn't matter.
Maintenance bot report. Please submit proper paperwork if you wish to repair this equipment.
Come play with us! I wanna play!
I'm not sure why I could not target the gift. Let's talk to our friend, the Toy Man, whom we saw not too long ago in Supergirl. It was kind of nice. Although he didn't have a hairdo like that, or a suit like that, or even glasses like that. But still, he was a Toy Man. Or so we were told. And we learned that his son Win is working with Supergirl at the Daily Planet. No, it's not the Daily Planet, it's Catco. I don't need a robot. Or do I? No, I don't. But he looks sad in the corner, so let's activate him anyway. Poor little Adam. Poor little Linda. Let's activate her too. Because we can. Well, let's even break a few healing barrels. Why not? They're right there. So I guess we're going to talk to our friend Sivana some more. Well, let's get rid of that Brainiac robot first.
Keep moving! You're about to
been a while since I did this mission. I'm not sure if there's a feat for activating the suit or not, or a feat for not activating the suit. Find out some other time. I guess now's the time to look around if we want to.
The weapons are
Okay, bad news. Bad, bad, bad. Brainiac has activated the entire armory missile silo. And we have a lot of missiles in there. We're talking extinction event. Unless you can take Brainiac's system breaker out.
Let's just look around, making sure we didn't forget anything. Although the game is built around repeating the missions over and over, so I'm pretty sure we'll repeat this mission from time to time. But still,
override is almost complete. Detonation is imminent.
let's summon our friends, because why not?
Oh good. Extinction averted. Hail conquering villains. I'm gonna go to hell now.
Maintenance bot sanitation.
Well, I guess we got all of them.
Please dispose of trash in the
Well,
proper
that's what I thought.
maintenance bot.
2 out of 4. I have no idea if the other 2 are in here or in some other mission. Doesn't matter. As I mentioned, I'll probably repeat this mission at some point. Either because I'm looking for possibly a style, or if I need to farm for a style, I may have to repeat this mission. Well, we did get a few styles, so that's nice. And we got some exhibits. That is always nice. Oh, the optimized large table. I kind of like that one. It looks like the kind of table you would have in your Justice League secret headquarters or some such thing. Oh, I should probably put it in the League Hall, come to think of it. And I'm not sure if I used the Love Bomb. I did not use it. There we go. So if you're wondering, essentially there's a feed for using a Love Bomb with the seasonal. Oh, it's a tank minigun. Oh, now I'm sad. I could give it to a tank character though. This is also something we could trade. This is also something we could trade. I guess we're good to go. And let's complete the things that go boom. Some prestige is always needed. We already have that helmet. So let us go sell a bit. I'm not sure why it still tells me to go to the Hall of Doom. Did I forget to activate a console at the end or something? We'll see.
I see Dr. Savannah let you in here. Since when is he in charge?
I guess not.
Luckily, I intercepted you. The armor
Let's get out of
is,
here.
as you might expect.
So, oh, that's why. I didn't return to Toyman. Oh, I'm sad. That's okay, I'll go next time. See, I'll have a reason to do it again some other time. So let's see, what should I do next? Sorry about that. No. Geez, I have a lot of bounties. I should probably think about doing some of those. I guess I could do this one next.
Teleport is clear to the inner sanctum. Brother Eye and Brainiac controlling Batman.
But first, let us go
Be waiting
repair.
for you. Good luck.
Oh, no, actually, let's go to the League Hall first. Well, actually, we could repair also. One doesn't stop us from doing the other.
As one of LexCorp's top operatives, I'm authorized to offer some of LexCorp's most dangerous, or rather useful, items.
Just making sure I don't sell anything by mistake. That should be good. Oh, we have a mailbox in the League Hall, so let's go. Trying to go too quickly. So let's give some leather chairs. Cell block number. A large table. Let us put a few things here. I have no idea who did put stuff of that kind here, but anyway. 50,000 for the next one. Ooh, that's a lot. 35,000 and 35,000 to Oh, I'll slowly but surely we'll get to it. So let us go check our mail. Thanks to crossplay, I've been using the League Hall a little bit more than before. Essentially, it allows me to trade stuff between characters that are on PC and PS3, PS4. Before, I would just put it in my shared bank and use the shared bank to trade between my characters. But that doesn't work for my if I want to trade from PC to PS3 PS4 characters. That doesn't quite work. Although I can just log in with both character and directly trade between them, but I guess using the League Bank will help a bit in sharing stuff between characters. Assuming that one of my league mate doesn't grab the item first, which wouldn't be the end of the world. So let's go to the tech wing. I'm pretty sure that's where the portal we need is. I'd have to wonder if we... no more skill points. I thought maybe we had earned... oh, wrong way. I thought maybe we had earned a skill point from doing a feat or two, but I suppose not. Although I did make sure that I had the explore feat from Smallville. I'll do that. I'll make sure next time. Again, missions are made so that we do them multiple times. So I have to admit, I don't remember if we can do all of them solo. Pretty sure there's one. Pretty sure in Inner Sanctum there's a few consoles we have to activate at some point. Although I may be mistaken. But I will start with the other cavern anyway, so let's get started. So in theory, I should be more than high level enough to be able to do the mission. But the problem is not so much the level. It's if there's a mechanic that prevents me from going further, that's going to be a bit of a problem. I guess they added certain mechanics to try to encourage quote unquote teamwork. But I'm not sure if it really works that way.
The Batcave. The Batcave. Oh my god. Oh my god. Don't move. Don't move. I'm pinpointing this location.
This is Oracle. I know who you are, and you definitely don't belong here. But Brainiac has taken over the Batcave, and, well, you're here. So now you get to stop him. And yes, I've jammed out Calculator and all of your monitoring devices. You'll never find this place again unless I let you in. Ready? Get moving.
Could have sworn I saw something here as I passed through. Oh well. Must be my imagination. That was quite an elbow drop. I destroyed the tower. Or the turret, I should say. But since Blackest Night Batman is undead, he probably didn't feel it even if he broke his elbow. One of the perks of being dead, I guess. So this part at some point was pretty much a game breaker, I suppose. Not game breaker, but essentially that's pretty much where you stopped being able to solo the mission at some point, because the robots essentially do imprison you. But now you're able to normally kill the big guy before the robots can even think about imprisoning you. And even if they do, your backup should be able to still keep on fighting while you're trapped. But for a while, it was a bit challenging to try and do this mission solo.
Batman, recording X. To kill. I fight for order, for control. That makes me better than the criminals. I also see the thin line.
As you see, they stun you like this. And at some point, there was like two or three of those robots, and they were pretty much perma stunning you. Once in a while, you would break free, but you had them to hurry up and summon a pet or cast a power that would do damage over time or something very quickly. Otherwise, you would be stunned and not be able to do anything. So you could try and get by like that. Like at some in the long run, you manage to do enough damage with some damage over time to be able to destroy the big robot while you were being perma-stunned. Now you seems to be able to defeat the robot before the perma-stun even starts. And I pretty much burned through my power, so I'll use my weapons a bit more. So as you saw, being stunned or imprisoned and needing to break out a lot, essentially you end up burning through your power bar pretty quick. Oh yeah, I think I forgot. Did I forget? Where did I see that? Is it even further behind? Oh yeah, I took it. I wasn't sure if I had. I guess there's nothing else here. Let's put that little lonely spider out of its misery.
Keep going. The security is meant to send any explorers packing, not to try to kill them. Brainiacs invaded the entire system, so there's only so much that I can do. But I'm working on it. Hang tight.
Alert.
Well, let's destroy those cannon first. Essentially, that's where the spiders are spawning from. So the quicker you destroy those and the less spider you'll end up fighting. Which may seem self-evident, but I've been in many groups where destroying the cannons never occurred to anyone. So ideally, when you reach this part, you should you should destroy the cannons. And don't think that just one guy can do it. Sure, if you get a good DPS, you probably can burn through the cannon quickly enough. But if you have the healer or the troll, okay, this guy seems to be, there we go. If the healer or the troll try to destroy the cannon by themselves, it's not impossible that they can do it, but it would be quicker if 2 or 3 players do that together and focus fire on the cannons. Again, it may seem self-evident, but I've seen enough groups who didn't do that. And I feel it's a good idea to mention it. There they are. Let's do a quick look around. I guess we're good. Sword of the Wrathbringer. That sounds like a martial art weapon, but it's actually a brawling weapon. And it's a controller weapon, so pointless for this character, sadly. While we're here, let's take a look at those nice boots. Rapture. There we go. There it is. There was also an investigation.
He doesn't just spread
Scanning. State-of-the-art rebreather device.
I don't really worry at this point to get all the briefing and investigations. If there's one that I really need, I'll usually go and get it first anyway. Like let's say I decide to make an Iron Man character, and it's not a good example, but that's the only thing I can think of right now. Let's say I decide to make an Iron Man character, and I know that the investigation for what looks like an Iron Man helmet is in a certain mission. Well, then I will go into that mission, and then I will make sure to get all the investigation from that mission, or the briefings, or whatever it is that I need for that one helmet. But I will not try to systematically try to get all the briefing and investigation unless I know there's something that I can actually use from it. So if there's a piece of gear for style, or even a piece of gear period that I think that I can use and that I need a certain investigation or some briefing for, then sure I will go and farm those specific briefing and investigations. Well, I will not try to get all the briefing and all the investigations in the game. I already did that a few times, and I don't really want to do that again. I guess it's part of those feeds that I usually purchase, because I don't really plan on doing those multiple times. Although I will probably end up doing those multiple times, but I'm in no rush to do so. Where's that little spider coming from? Did I forget a cannon somewhere? Well, I guess not. It probably came from there just before I destroyed it, I suppose. And at some point in time, maybe that I'll look through the briefing and investigations that I'm missing and decide to go, okay, I'm missing that in that briefing. Let's go and get it. Now let's recharge or supercharge a little bit. Although I'm a little sad, I don't know if it's because I'm a healer. When I break a barrel, it probably doesn't give me as much power than if I was a controller. But it barely gives me a bit of power in my blue bar, which makes me sad. But that'll be good enough, I suppose. So here we're gonna have to go to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right. So we open essentially the portal to the left, to the right. And there we go.
Up ahead through those blast doors is an entry to the Batcave itself. I'm showing Nightwing, Huntress, and others there.
And we open this. It should open an ambush.
North blast door. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Releasing South Blast Door. Oh.
Guess we have to go back on the other side. With a group, what you can always do is you can decide to send like half of the group on one side, half of the group on the other side, and essentially each half of the group does a part of the mission. So you don't have to switch back and forth from left to right. But in mini group, that's not really an option. Like unless the group is strong enough to be able to survive with only 4 players. Like sometimes you have no choice but to all 8 player have to go on one side and all 8 player have to go on the other side, depending on the group, I suppose. A certain group, sure, you can easily split and there's no problem. But there are groups that if you split, you will die a lot. So if you want a smooth run in many groups, you better just all stay together. But if you don't mind possibly dying a few times, or if you feel you have a strong enough group, then sure you can split and half of the group deals on one side and the other half deals with the other side. It's not a big deal though. It's just you just save a bit of back and forth. You won't save like half an hour splitting the group in two. You'll save at best a minute or two.
Releasing North Blast Door. 05.
Oh, there we go.
Releasing South Blast Door. 06.
And there we go.
Releasing Outer Sanctum Blast Door.
So we weren't really able to pull that evil Batman robot, but we didn't have to. He actually died pretty quick. The nice Batman computers. I'm fairly happy that we have We have them in our base now. That's nice. Doing combos when you're being thrown around, it doesn't really work, I guess. Oh, there they are. So the enemies are combat rating 56 in here, but don't let that fool you. If you come in here with a they're combat rating 56 for a group of 8 players. If you come in with a single player of combat rating 56, thinking that oh well you should do fine, the enemies are pretty much at your CR. If you're a deaf mic, you'll probably do fine at combat rating 20, but most people will probably struggle because essentially, yeah, the enemies are combat rating 56, but 56 balanced for 8 players. So it's not quite the same. Oh, that is so nice. Oh, I thought I went through the window. Oh, I'm so sad now. And of course we can go through here. So let's continue. I guess the Justice League gave Batman a hand in building his Batcave because there's no way that Alfred and Bruce Wayne by themselves built all this. Even if the caverns were there naturally, all the stuff they added, pretty sure they didn't do that by themselves. I'm pretty sure they didn't hire contractors or that kind of stuff to do that. So odds are we had our friend Superman or Green Lantern who came in to give a hand. Unless Alfred really is that good. That could be, I suppose. I guess we got them all. So let's talk to our friend, Batwoman.
You made it. Oracle told us you were fighting your way in. We're working to neutralize the Batcave defenses of
And there's usually a long,
What's the status of the EMP, Nightwing?
I was about to say a long cinematic, but it's not quite true. Essentially, they talk and they talk and they talk quite a lot. And I guess you could call it an in-game cinematic, because at some point it will switch to the various different characters and
This isn't what Batman created you to do. You're out of your league here, Brother Eye.
if I should summon my friends or probably not. There we go. So let's hurry up before one of them gets back up. So that was nice.
We've been contaminated. Brother Eye is taking us out of the fight. Oracle, this is Robin. Can you lock onto our emergency beacon? You have to teleport us out of here. We've been infected with the OMAC virus. We need treatment and quarantine.
Blast, Brother Eye. Until we can deactivate the OMAC virus, we're useless here.
I'm running a code analysis on
Scanning. These shattered lenses were once part of a night vision device.
That seems to be. Could have sworn there was another one, or well, maybe misremembering or thinking of another mission.
I'll need time to get through these defenses.
So
Batman
let's see
sold
what
us
we
the
got.
Brainiacs.
Obviously, we got an alternate reward box. And we got a weekly reward box also. That's nice. Not so nice. Don't really care about that plan. Let's collect our prestige. That's a controller weapon. We'll keep the hammer. Oh, that's a tank weapon. Oh. We can't trade it also. We can trade this chest. Or actually, I think I'll probably sell it on the broker. Probably won't get that much, but a few bucks is a few bucks, I guess. Wonder if that was enough to give us. Oh yeah, we did get a skill point. That's nice. And let's complete this little mission. Well, let's see the chess piece we got. Or did we? Oh, I'm so sad now. Unless maybe I have to go talk to an NPC first. Could be. I'm not sure why it says continue. Oh, I have to do all of them. We'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I went the wrong way. So let's see what we can sell here. We should be able to sell the chess piece. Why not? Let's see how much other people are asking for. Ooh, 75,000. It's a little too much. Pretty sure no one will pay that. Let's go for 25,000. May seem low, but it's a piece of gear that's been there for a long time. I'm pretty sure most people probably have it by now. The same with the blasters. Like the blasters aren't very rare. And you can see that like they're three, even at 3,000. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't sell. So let's go for 1,000. It may seem like it's not enough, but well, if you say if you sell enough item at 1,000, it adds up pretty quick. I'm pretty sure we had a tank weapon somewhere in there. Oh, it looks so sweet. Oh no, it's just a two-hander. It's not a tank. The shield should be good. Well, I guess that's all I had to sell on the broker then. So let us sell at not the broker. Well, let's go see Mr. Hill.
Gear, that's what I've got. You want some? I take cash.
Oh, we got mail already. So let's see, what did we sell? We sold the blasters at $1,000. Is it a new player that needed those blasters and purchased them? Is it a player that was selling them 3,000 and decided to buy them for 1,000 and then put them back for 3,000 on the broker? I have no idea, and we'll never know. The thing also is that you have a limited amount of space in your broker. Like you can only sell X amount of items at a time. I think I'm up to 20 or 25. It's been a while since I checked. So in some cases it adds up pretty quick. So you don't really want when you go on a selling spree, that's what I would call it. You don't want items to sit in your at the in your broker for like 3 days before selling, and assuming they do sell, you want to sell them as quickly as possible because in half an hour you're gonna have 10 more items that you're gonna want to sell. That's especially true when you decide to go farming. If you decide to go farming for, let's say, collections, well, you will gather a lot and a lot of collections. So you're going to want to sell them fairly quickly because half an hour later, you're gonna have 20, 30 more collections that you're gonna need to sell. And if your broker is already full of collections that you didn't sell yet because you're asking essentially too much, well, your inventory will fill up pretty quick with collections. And at some point, you're going to face that either you're going to have to stop farming, and if you're looking for a specific collection, you don't really want to stop farming. So what you're going to end up doing is you're going to start deleting collections that you have 2, 3, 4 times because you're essentially yes, you're selling them for as much as you can. So in the long term, you're going to make more money. But in the short term, you're going to essentially be losing money because you're going to have to delete some collections in your inventory. Or you're going to have to stop farming. But if your goal is to try to get, let's say you're farming to try to get the collections for the amenities in your base, well, you're not going to stop farming just because your inventory is full, because you want those amenities in your base, so you're going to keep on farming. Or if you're looking for a specific style, for collections for a specific style, again, you're not gonna want to stop farming just because your inventory is full. You're gonna want to keep on looking for the item you need. So that's usually why I usually ask if it's an item that's pretty rare, pretty common. I'll ask for 1/3 of what people are asking. If it's not so common, I'll go for half. And if it's a fairly rare item that I know is difficult to get or rare to get, then I'll ask for about 2/3 of what the lowest bidder is asking. And once in a while, you'll see someone who tries to undercut you. Like you'll put an item for sale, and you'll see that oh it didn't sell yet, and then you look it up and you see that oh there's three other guys who are asking $5 less than what I'm asking. Then I'll just take it out and put it back at a lower price. Essentially, I'll undercut the undercutters, if it makes any sense. Let's go to New Genesis before we stop. I went the wrong way.
Darkseid wants the Celestial City, and we're going to get it for him. Fight off any resistance on this.
That is strange. Could just be because I'm too far. Let's get closer. Oh, there we go. For some reason, I thought I could not click on them little triangles. I wasn't seeing at first the blue circle saying that we can interact with them. Well, that's probably just I was a little too far away. I'm not sure if I should try the bounty. Probably not. Even if the bounty is, let's say, combat rating 121, we're talking about a 121 for 8 players. So I'm not sure if at 140, even at 150, I'm not sure if I would be powerful enough to be able to defeat that bounty. Although there's quite a few bounties that I didn't quite do yet with this character. So at some point I will probably do a bounty video with our evil Black Lantern Batman. And sadly, for most bounties, if you don't do them like the first week or two that they've been released, or at least the first couple of weeks they've been released, odds are you're gonna have a hard time finding a group later on to do those bounties. People will usually do those bounties as soon as they're available, and even worse in some cases, they will farm those bounties over and over and over. So that within a day or two, a lot of people will be done with those bounties. Especially bounties like it was especially true of bounties like a Raven or what's the other one? Anyway, those who actually give a piece of gear. Like when you defeated Raven, you would get a piece of gear. So people essentially what they did is they farmed and farmed and farmed their Raven for like a couple of days until they had all the I think it's 85 combat rating 85 gear she's giving. So essentially, once people had all the 85 gear that the Raven was giving, they pretty much stopped farming. Not just farming, but they pretty much stopped running Raven altogether. Which then, for people who came in later, trying to do those bounties, well, was either very difficult or not even an option. Let's go see our friend Surge. Although there seems to be. I thought there might be a collection or something, but I guess not. I don't see collections all that often in this map. Although I've seen plenty, so I know they're there or they're supposed to be there, but they seem to be either rare or I'm just not lucky enough to see them all that often. Nothing really worth. Let's go for the plan. It's a bit of a waste because I'll probably never use it, I usually have either Magneto or Galactus, and even actually Galactus is the one I actually use for pretty much all my crafting. Let's go back to our base. So let's see what weapon we have. Got a nice two-handed hammer and a nice shield. Just making sure there's nothing else. The bow will still keep around for a bit. So I guess that's going to be it for now, guys. So essentially next time what I'll probably do, I'll probably try to do the Inner Sanctum and the Brainiac subconstruct. We'll see. Although I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do the Inner Sanctum, and I'll probably try to cure for Kandak. We'll see how that goes. So thanks for watching, guys. Sorry if the recording crashed a few times. Nothing I could really do about that. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.